Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Gemini channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for Gemini. Know that energy is fluid, rules could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also, know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So we look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, to see how they play out as karmic themes, help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is. Really important when you're dealing with a karmic that's going to trigger you, and you're going to be ruminating on what they did do, why they did it, instead of actually being present in the moment and creating a life that you want to, have. Your energy is being, you know, taken, robbed. So a lot of times we want to know why the person does what they do to stop the ruminating. But what's really most important is to understand why you're attracting that person into your life. What needs to be healed? When a person has the power to keep you ruminating, to keep you angry, to keep you, what, why? It's not that we don't know that that person's we know that the person's a spiritual person, like again that they're a person that the universe sent us for our healing, but what needs to be healed. And so, these experiences, like I said, that trigger us, that make us ruminate, are all to help us heal. That's why a person ruminates, because they're trying to figure out something that doesn't make sense. Like, why you have family members that may not act like family members. Like why a mother doesn't act like a nurturing, loving mother. Why, people make us feel a certain way. Like, what is the whole significance? See, we forget about the emotional part of our being. Our society doesn't really recognize this. It's like, oh, you'll get over it. you know, like toughen up. But the truth of the matter is that the child self is really when the emotional body is being developed. So, how a child perceives the world is based on, their family, their mother and their father, the attachment styles, how safe a child actually feels. And a lot of times, child did not feel safe because something was going on collectively. And the problem is that, again, we form habits and behaviorisms that are in alignment with those perceptions. And when we get out of those experiences, we recreate the same undesirable life experiences because our habits and our behaviorisms are built on the imbalance is within experience. So again, if you grew up in an alcoholic family, that would be an example. You can't really express yourself the way that you want to express yourself. You're always worried about the problems that come along with alcoholism, right? So let's face it, your habits and behaviorisms are going to be compromised because you're gonna, when we're around that, we usually don't feel safe. Because the energy of an alcoholic is unpredictable, right? So it can make you paranoid. Well, it's the same thing as living with someone that's abusive, like verbally abusive. You don't know what you're getting with that person either. Someone that is, showing psychological and emotional imbalances that make you feel not safe. When we are safe, we're open to receiving. We're able to be ourselves. We're able to be the expression of love by doing what we love. But again, that energy can't be if we are full of spiritual blockages. So within the reading, you should be looking and seeing why you attracted who you attracted, because relationship is just one avenue of your person's life, but understand your relationships can influence your entire life. So if you don't understand the spiritual blockage, you are going to repeat the same exact experiences because we don't realize that we actually are, creating part of that experience. There's a dynamic that's working because we are participating in making that dynamic come into fruition. So again, you're the alchemist of your life. these readings are more than just, what your person come back, and how did they feel, though we always want to know that, it's not the most significant, is what spirit is saying. All right, never know why I say what I say in the beginning of a reading. I just kind of should let myself channel a little bit to warm up to see what spirit wants us to focus on. All right, let's see. Now, if you resonate with this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. And I'm sorry I haven't really been that consistent with the coaching. It's just I started another job and I'm trying to get my schedule put, so just bear with me. I will be having a class for sure on Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, and maybe Friday. And the reason why is because my day's off. Like, I don't know. No, I'll always try and put up a video, obviously, but as far as the coaching, until I get more people that sign up, hello, $7.99, child healing, shadow healing, reparenting in a group setting is a lot of fun. You're interactive, you learn and really get to recondition, like, not just the way you think, but your body. You don't realize that being around someone that's a narcissist, we don't breathe properly anymore. Breathing like in our throat instead of, so our nervous system gets affected, how much oxygen our, organs and tissue and our body gets is depleted because you're in survival. So you have to recondition the body mind connection. All right, so it's really important. All right, let's see what the underlying energy is. $7.99 though. So if you can do that, if you can catch like 2 or 3 classes a month, like, you're golden. I mean, come on. Oh, okay, let's see. The underlying energy is self-righteous. Ugh. Ugh. Somebody, again, you're connected to somebody that is like a know-it-all, someone that's like my way, the highway, like someone that just is not flexible and then thinks that they're great. It's again, and that's the end. So the underlying energy is really that person, if you want to know why you're like not like in communication with them right now. Now, the also energy is spirit descending. And so with spirit descends when you begin to ground more, when you begin to look at the higher self as the God part of self. The spirit is the Holy Spirit that, again, when we ground it, we're putting our energy towards becoming ourselves, creating ourselves. And I feel like this person judged that in the beginning. Judge the way that you did things in the beginning. And maybe that didn't like your job, doesn't like an element about who you are. And that's the thing. They're in a place of, for such a long time, being like, oh, that's not going to work. Like, yeah, okay, like, go ahead and teach that little class, or go ahead and do, like, again, just undermined it, didn't see your vision, didn't see. And the thing is like, the spirit descending means that you're grounding, you're letting other people know what you do, you're interactive within a community. Now this person again is still kind of like, yeah, I knew this, I knew her, or I knew him. I told him to do that. I told her to do that. Like, very self-righteous and almost like, but I feel like there is and like, this person's not comfortable with you doing it. Yeah, that's what I felt. They're not comfortable with you doing it because I feel like this person had feelings. And as long as you were hidden, it was okay. So maybe I feel like some of you guys like are like into the holistic arts, and this person didn't really understand what you were doing. And now that you're like teaching, or you're like at a, like, some of you are at like a market every weekend, or you're like around people and you're getting out there, like, this person, like you said, is judgmental. They wanted you to be needy on them. They wanted you to be dependent on them. They liked it when you were in that energy because they could be self-righteous. They could be somebody that was that way. They didn't see that you're someone that's very innovative. You're someone that has a lot of creative energy, a lot of spiritual energy. So people are just drawn to you. They like what you do. They like who you are. They can feel that you're a genuine person. They overlook, like maybe again, certain things like that they thought that people would judge. So maybe you're not someone that spells well, or you're someone that, like you're not a structured person. So you're not a business person. So this person thought that everyone was going to perceive you as, oh, how they saw you. And no one perceives you as how they saw you. So now this person is saying, like, is judging themselves. And they're like, why like didn't I see that? And it's there, I feel like it's making them kind of angry because here it is, like you're having like such a good like response that this person is, like you said, is using substances. Is again, they check out because it's like they can't deal with it. It's like they've lost control, and then now it's like they wanted to treat you a certain way. They didn't give you the time, they didn't give you the energy. And here it is, people that they thought, were on like a high level, people that they admire, people that they like, and they're seeing that they're like tooting your horn and they're liking who you are as a person, and they don't look, that this person's mad because they kept this situation in a vicious cycle of acting like just keeping the relationship stuck, never feeding it, never giving anything to it, just breadcrumbing it, giving it just enough. And so the thing is, now this person is like, well, they miss you because it's like now they're seeing you for like how other people see you. And then also there was that original connection that they had with you. They just didn't perceive that you were good enough for them, like, and that could have been, again, you were in school or you were, again, doing something within holistic arts, doing something that this person doesn't really understand and didn't really believe that it was going to do well. And so they kept one foot in and one foot out. And so that it was that pissed you off. And so it was almost like their way of saying that they could not support whatever you were doing, and there was a lack of harmony. And so you were like, I'm not going to settle for less than what I deserve. And so now, like I said, this person's in a place where you're their wish fulfillment, and now but they're resentful because it's like now it's like that, you're out and about and you're getting attention from other people. Now, hey, now they're in competition, like to like win your time, win your energy, and you're not right there anymore. You're not, accessible to them anymore. And, this person was in your life to teach you a spiritual lesson is what you feel. You don't even feel like the connection is there anymore. And that's what they can feel. And that's why they're pissed because it's like, oh, wait a minute, everybody else sees you this way. Now I want to see you that way. And you can actually help me. And at one time we were friends and this and that, but they didn't give you the time. So you're not that person. And you're like, I don't really trust this. I don't trust you, understand, because this person didn't want to give you. They wanted, then there's a part of them that I'm sure that wants people to see you for the way that they saw you because, hey, they have a missed opportunity right here. Like you can expect an apology. This person's gonna apologize because, like, again, they didn't see you that way. And that's the thing. It's like you need to still set up healthy boundaries, Spirit says, because like I said, there's a part of this person that's like still can't believe it. They were like, they think that they're so smart. They think that they know everything. They're so self-righteous that they really think that they know it all. And so the fact that you prove them wrong and they just want to come in and with an apology and, oh, maybe we can pick it up. It's like the spirit says, have boundaries. This person is a no. You know, you just feel like you can't be vulnerable with this person. You can't be transparent because, hey, you know, they weren't there. And now just because everybody else sees you, that they're going to ask to talk, but you again are going to want to let go. This person's gonna say, you complete me. Oh, like I see you. We had that connection, and all you're gonna see is the red flags. And that's the thing, literally. Like, so this person's not gonna give up right away. I feel like they're gonna try and convince you because at one time you really gave them the time and you really liked them, but the fact that you just kind of like let go, like you let go and you became somebody else, and now all these people that they like, that they admire, that they, strive to be like, or felt like they were within their circle, they're like, how is it that you fit? How is it that you fit? And everybody else is like, they don't feel that way. So, like I said, this person feels stupid, you know? And so you have to say, you know, why did you attract this person into your life? Especially because hey, they want to come back, but they want to come back and part of them is still want to like dissect you and still like it's just not a healthy energy, like almost like obsessive now that you got away because everybody else sees you as somebody that's like great and it's like, well, wait a minute, now I can use your energy, and it's like, no, don't. And Spirit says, so we have to look at your inner child wounds. Otherwise, what'll happen is it's like the same karmic themes continue to play out over and over and over and over and over again in our life. So again, Spirit says, well, you know what? We see support, you see safety and security, you see belittled, and suppression. We do see resilience. And vulnerability. So I feel like what happened is that you grew up in an environment where like you just didn't feel safe with a parent. Like there was no support because that parent was always angry. And we know that they were angry because what parent belittles their child? A parent that's just not happy. Like they're not happy in their marriage, they're not happy in their life. So the way that they talk to you, and it was very suppressive to you where you didn't feel like you're capable to be vulnerable. However, being that you were a child and didn't have support and didn't feel safe, you have resilience that that parent didn't stop you from achieving what you wanted to achieve. It's just, you went through it very fearfully. You went through it, like obviously in survival, if there was no support and there was safety and security. Our children need to feel safe. They need to feel that they can be vulnerable in their home and express themselves. You were not able to express yourself. You were not able to really form your own unique individuality by being around a parent that just was like a bully. When you grow up with a parent that acts like a bully, which is this energy, like you're not going to ever feel safe, and that affects the second chakra because you're actually suppressing who you are, and you had to suppress who you were to deal with the environment to get the support that you needed, to get the love that you needed, which was as long as I was invisible, as long as I went along with what my parents wanted, everything was okay. But the moment that you went against the parent or had your own idea or had your own want or need or desire, then sometimes it was very stifled. There was no support. And that happens a lot of times. Like I said, if our parent is angry, just angry with their life, they're not happy with their job, they're not in a happy marriage, they're not going to be happy. They're not going to be able to be happy to give to their children. And so it comes out with the way that a parent talks to their child when they're not happy. It's like they don't make the child feel as if they're able to be vulnerable, and it affects the second chakra. Again, where we stifle it, we suppress it ourselves because we're like, well, I'm not going to get the support, I'm not going to get the love. So Spirit says, so attracting a person that pretty much would do the same exact thing, because that's what this person would do. Be somebody that would belittle you, try to emotionally abuse you to make you do what they want you to do. And it's all about them. It's all about them. And that's really, you didn't listen to them. You detached from them. This person might have thought that they got over on you at one time too, because remember, they weren't giving, they were breadcrumbing, they were holding on. They thought that you were really going to hold on. The fact that you let go, and when they let go and let you walk away, because that's pretty much what happened, they allowed you to walk away. Well, they thought that maybe you'd be devastated again because they perceived you as someone that you were. Now this little job, this little peddly, like these friends that you have, like what do you have? Like, I'm such a great catch, I have everything, I'm so smart, I'm so great. And really what happened is that people like you better than they like this person. This person, I feel like, isn't even connected to the people that they admire, that they once were connected to. So there's a sense of, again, how are you in that place? This person wanted to be with someone that, that they perceived was successful. And meanwhile, you are successful, and that's the irony, but it took everybody else. So Spirit's saying, you showed fierce strength, and unfortunately, you are on the right path. It's just the one that's not most traveled. It's like, again, you're creating a way where there is no way. That's why this person was like, I don't really believe in what you're doing. I don't really believe it's going to work. Oh, like people are going to think that you're like whatever. When me, that's not what happened. It's like you again needed to live boldly and unafraid to be yourself. You needed to live out loud, and that's what you did. And that's why people, again, they may not even agree or really like what you do, but they like you. They like you, which is even more important because you can win a person over by what you do, even if they don't like what you do. You can win them over where they see your vision and know that you're an ethical person. And then maybe they give suggestions or something. Because, God always brings people into your life and situations to help you become the best version of yourself. So, again, sometimes the trigger in how another person sees you isn't really, you know, um, it's like they don't understand it. But sometimes, again, it's with time. Time tells. People can feel the type of, and that's really what it's about. It's like it's a psychic connection. It doesn't logically make sense because you could be like, Roberta down there, she wears a feathered cap with 1,000 birds on it, and she comes into work and she's wearing that hat and it's very disruptive, and you might even be irritated by it. But over time, when you see like Roberta taking care of those birds and you see Roberta like to making sure that the birds aren't affecting anyone else, you could be like, okay, it's not something that I would do, but I see that person is real. I see that person isn't, and that's the spirit, that's the God part of self that says, well, I was able to discern. And so again, that's spirit saying that you did that. You did that, and that allowed you to hey, release the limiting beliefs that, hey, there's something wrong with you because people don't understand you. People don't understand what you're doing. They don't understand why you feel the way that you do, why you think the way that you do. Well, you're not them. So they don't really need to know. However, how safe a person will feel is going to determine how, again, logically and analytically they can figure it out because, again, the reptilian mind. But there's still always that spiritual connection where this was not about freeing yourself from the limiting beliefs that other people have that made you then walk from a certain perception that was more in alignment with those beliefs than it was about you, which was what this person was trying to do. So the Spirit says, still continue to go on your soul's calling, listen to the whisper of your soul, but make sure you align your actions with your values always, because again, we always want to be in the highest state of consciousness, always coming from a place of unconditional love. So we can again make sure that the universe is on our side, right? Again, we get to utilize the energy of the Holy Spirit when we're in that energy because we're in alignment with the laws of the universe. So Spirit says, and when you are, you're then are able to see your own genius, envision your future that's better than ever because that you earned it. It's not about what other people say or what other people do. It's about, having a fearless heart and, using your passion to fight for what you believe in, to stand your ground. Like, hey, I belong here. Yeah, I belong here. I have there's a purpose in what I do and who I am, and this is who I am. Live boldly and unapologetically because no one will stop you. It's all about helping you see, again, all aspects of the situation, but most of all, to integrate those spiritual blocks that made you feel fragmented because someone suppressed you at one time and somebody else suppressed you by the way that they think and the way that they are. But no one can stop you. Only you stop you by thinking, what you think, because the universe will always bring you what you need to heal, to become the best version of yourself. Like that's because God doesn't care. God just wants you to evolve back to its original energy of unconditional love. And that's by becoming the best version of yourself. And a lot of times we don't do that on our own. We don't know. We don't know what needs to be healed. We wouldn't know what needed to be healed unless someone came into our life and triggered us or pointed it out or something, and so it's to understand that everything is happening for a reason and that you're always supported and you're not here by mistake. You're here by God's design, and you get to choose how that how you're going to contribute to that design. We leave off to, well, Spirit says, listen to life. Be attentive to the world around you. Signs and symbols guide you to success. Why? Because again, God is omnipresent, omniscience, omnipotent. Remember, everywhere, all the time, always working through the universe to bring you what you need to guide you to success. So it doesn't matter who doesn't like what you do, who doesn't want you to do what you do. It doesn't matter. It's as long as it's in alignment with, the laws of spirit, which is the laws of God, which is the laws of the universe. Well, you're gonna be okay. Spirit says just continue to listen and discover the way to eternal. Again, and eternal is within the kingdom of heaven, and that's when you're with God, and that's when you again are flowing with the universe through what you love by giving and receiving of love. You're in the high vibration, and Spirit says you use that passion to fight for what you believe in, and you will be moving into brighter horizons, I promise you. I'm going to leave that there, Gemini. You let me know how you resonated, and I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to give the video a like, and if you need shadow healing, $7.99. How can you go wrong, really? I mean, you catch 2, 3 live streams a month, and you're golden, seriously. I mean, $7.99 a month to help you recondition your nervous system, to understand why you create the life and the life experiences that you want to have, to shape shift your reality. You're not going to get cheaper than that. And in a community setting, you get the support, you get the love, and that's something that a lot of people that have gone through trauma feel like they haven't gotten. So if you need it, consider it. All right. I'm really going to leave that there. I'll talk to you soon, Gemini. Bye bye.